Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Theodosios as our Africa Corps, and his opponent today is going to be Ildong as our US. Map today is going to be the new map, Tuscan Valley. Got a monster freaking cutoff point here. Connects you to pretty much everything across the river from your base. And then you got this no cutoff point set up here, just a ton of munitions, a little bit of fuel, and yeah. A very interesting map design. I think it's also really lovely. You got all these hedgerows and vineyards, and it's just great. So, and I do believe this is a community-created map, which is extra cool. What I've observed from my very few games on this map is that the victory points are a little bit out in no man's land. Way out here in the corners, very limited flanking opportunities, plenty of medium cover. And, I mean, like I said, in the few games that I've seen, fights tend to focus around the middle, but I'm sure players are just barely getting their feet under them on this new map. So, our Africa Corps player is opening Bersaglieri and a Jeep, so going to have a metric ton of capturing power. This player going for the Weasel out of the Special Operations Battle Group, opting for the straight up Weasel. What do they call this? Just the, yeah, M29 Weasel, and the other option is the Weasel with Pack, which got a buff this patch, but I'm not going to see it. Looks like our US player is headed down the heavy machine gun line here. As we'll have two heavy machine guns here very shortly. Now I think the DAC has a good build here to deal with this, right? He's going to have a ton of Bersaglieri, ton of movement and capturing potential on the map. I think our German player is going to have to, or excuse me, our US player is going to have to make a decision on which side of the map he wants to control, because he's not going to be able to control a whole lot with these heavy machine guns right out of the gate here. And a little bit of a quiet opening here. No real surprise there. Motorbike fighting it out with this heavy machine gun. Bersaglieri on the flank, though, are backed up by a second heavy machine gun there. Does look like he saw it. Not going to get suppressed. Bike barely getting away. So, German player is playing grouped up here. This cutoff point is his lifeblood right now, connecting to him to all of his resources. German player going to move in, grab up those munitions while he's got the chance. And we are going to see a territorial advantage here, resource income advantage for our German. So today is Saturday, and this the Meta Plays tournament was today, and I think it's going to continue into tomorrow. So I had a ton of fun casting in that. Thank you so much for the invite, Ovaldi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. I feel like there's a really good chance that I'm not, because I never actually asked you to pronounce it for me. Third heavy machine gun on the field, as well as a third Bersaglieri. Ambulance is available as well. Scout's actually making use of this heavy cover here, holding the point down. But German controlling this entire right side. Might even be able to get up behind these heavy machine guns, but looks like Ildong is ready for that to happen. And unfortunately for him, might walk into the arc here. Is going to walk into the arc, but actually going to pick up this scout. That'd be really nice for him. Somehow the heavy machine gun doesn't have range here. And nice little pickup there, removing even more capturing power from the US player. Motorbike on the flank. And I'm wondering what our German player's plan is to deal with these heavy machine guns. Oh man, bike gonna go down? Not quite, barely surviving there. Yeah, so I'm wondering what his plan is. Infantry support center on the way for our US. Now, Bersaglieri can do fine against heavy machine guns, right? But he's gonna have a rough time breaking into this side of the map with how clustered up our US player is. And I'm thinking maybe a 250 to get some wraparound. action. But we could just see the standard flak as well. No bazookas on the field just yet. Did just pick up the captain, though, from that infantry support center, and it does feel like we're going to see bazookas pretty soon here. And by that I mean half-tracks, which is, in fact, on the way. 75 millimeter. Going to be on the field very soon here. U.S. player actually making decent progress into his opponent's territory here, grabbing up these munitions. Have a machine gun ready for the push here. And an MG for a German player added on as well. And I'm wondering why the heavy machine gun. You know, when you're against a bunch of heavy machine guns like this, doesn't feel like the right answer would be to pick up suppression of your own, but maybe I'm wrong about that. And unfortunately, it looked like our US player or German player was actually going to win this fight over here, but retreated just a little bit too early. And here comes the Weasel to help out, as well as the M3, which is being upgraded to a 75 millimeter right this instant. So it's going to have that on the field pretty soon here. We're going to see a mechanized company. So that's very interesting. Maybe, well, not sure what his plan is. We'll see here very shortly. Motorbike on the top side helping out, getting repaired up. Wouldn't mind seeing him being, I mean, he's being plenty active with this unit, picking up all sorts of territory. 75 millimeter. Bike doesn't know how close he came to death there. He's going to hunt these engineers on the bottom side from the looks of it. Engineers popping down some mines. Going to finish those mines at the last possible second. And that bike needs to be real careful. So, well, we have just a second here. I wanted to thank all the new subscribers. Love having you on the channel. But what I was going to say is we are very close to 500 subscribers, and I am going to do a cast of one of my own games because that is what won the poll. So if you're interested in helping me get to that last few subscribers, please, we'd love to have you on the channel. 8 rad on the way here. Is that a German mine? It is a German mine. Might actually pick up that Weasel if it comes through there. But 8 rad gonna do really well here. It's got decent survivability against 75 millimeter. And is also gonna clean house against all these heavy machine guns. This player floating a metric ton of manpower here. Not sure what that's about. Yeah, wonder what that is about. Potentially waiting for Commandos? Question mark? Yeah, I'm not sure. Take a quick look. Oh, and yeah, Commandos. Yeah, he could. I mean, it's a little far away though. 75 millimeter getting the angle on this 8 rad though. 8 rad's still gonna chase. It's going to be a very close fight. Looks like the 8 rad should get final say there. Pop and smoke. Just going to force that unit all the way back. Yeah, sort of. Well, okay, he's going bazookas now. And adding on another 75 millimeter from the looks of it. 8 rad going to force back the heavy machine gun. Yeah. Interesting. Maybe ildong was waiting to see what his opponent was doing before locking it in. But he's going to add on the bazookas now. Going to be able to deal with that 8 rad. I suspect, based on how meta our US player is playing, that we're going to see another bazooka here pretty soon, and might pick up the heavy machine gun. Oh man, barely gonna get him. So that isn't a good place for our US player to recrew. And it's possible the German player didn't see that happen. So may not know that that is up for grabs. But good for him nonetheless. Jaeger's on the way here. Now, Jaegers is an interesting choice. I mean, infantry, anti-tank infantry is almost always the choice because AT guns have the problem of being fairly immobile, and if they get caught out, it's easy to make mistakes with them, right? Easy for them to get caught out, which is why something like half-tracks are so popular, because they have extremely high mobility, and bazookas are good because they are easier to use without making a mistake. Heavy machine gun did get recrewed. They're going to bail out now.
Commandos are reporting in.
But, yeah, Commandos on the field now. Commandos, of course, very versatile, being able to switch between heavy machine guns and bazookas, but less of a specialist, so less anti-tank scaling into the late game than a bazooka squad. 75mm responding to the 8-rad, trying to get an attack round through the shrubs there, but the Jaeger's going to force them away. Second Jaeger headed out now. And I think we're going to start to see... Feels like we're going to see at least one more Commando here. But maybe not. Has our US player gone for advanced logistics yet? If he hasn't, I'm sure he will soon. With that fuel bank that he's built up for himself. US player... Both players very even on victory points here. Been seeing a lot of fighting over the resources and less so over the victory points, so... Both, well, German players starting to focus here in the middle in a pretty big way. And is aware of the existence of those Commandos, so... This little steal, this cutoff point, only going to deny... Well, okay, only... Is going to deny this fuel here, potentially. Didn't finish the capture, though. Heavy machine guns moving in to put a stop to that. And Jaeger's going to be forced back there. Nicely done by our Germans. Staying mobile here. Getting a flank on this guy up here. Lovely. Well done there. Going to eat a grenade here from the looks of things. Potentially. 75mm on the hunt. Did get some good damage on that 8-rad there. Machine gun forced back. And fights everywhere, man. Fights everywhere. Love to see it when players fight everywhere on the map at the same time. That's what you love about those high-level chaotic games. Did manage to pick up the heavy machine gun there. So US player's not going to be too happy about that. Bike even contributing to this fight with those tracers, given perceived increased accuracy versus those engineers there. And this weasel's still alive. I mean, this is what you like to see from weasels, right? The longer they live, the better it is. They have reasonably high utility, and just to show you what I'm talking about here, they can drop guns, they can give you heals, they can capture territory, just a really high potential for utility, right? So nicely done there. Is going to find those Jaegers, though, and might go down here. Oh, barely breaking max range there right at the last second. Map seemingly favoring our German here. German player also has a ton of fuel built up here. So could be thinking about teching up next. It feels like he has all the tools he needs to be successful at this stage in the game. Should know that his opponent is very likely to be staying on the technology that we're seeing right now, which is to say heavy machine guns and infantry. Now, it's not impossible that our US player goes for something like Shermans. Bulldozer is a pretty popular addition to this type of composition. And nice little fight here. The machine gun's just going to trade damage on these squads. 75mm, put an end to the stalemate there. Barraging away the heavy machine gun. Light machine gun on the flanks, duking it out with the several German units here. He's going to retreat after capturing the point. 8 Rad moving into the area to help out. And a moment of quiet. Feels like it's been 5-10 minutes since the last moment of quiet. Berserker going to find that mine. Great placement there. Preventing that capture from happening. And I'm over here thinking that this is a really strong place for a heavy machine gun to sit. I mean, it's protecting the cutoff point here. It can rotate to deal with threats coming from the left or from this bottom point. It's even got the 75mm supporting here. So I'm really liking this strong point from our US player. Of course, we're seeing the same idea playing out on this top side as well. Covering this point, covering the fuel very, reasonably nearby to support. And is doing a number on his opponent here. Seemingly have consistent control of both victory points. Weasel moving in to help out here. Weasel at 2, what do they get? Rotation rate, capture speed, so even better at capturing. Very cool. Jaeger's finding this Weasel. US player not seeing it, but Jaeger's going to eat a ton of barrages though, so is going to save that unit. Heavy machine gun scooched up just a little bit there to avoid the 75mm. Where's that 8 Rad at? Here he is in the middle, being forced away by the Commandos. And armored reserves already on the way for our German player. So what do we think? We think he's going to go for Panzer IV Assault Grenadier? Or do we think straight for the Tiger? Quite a ways away from the Tiger. But honestly, I mean, he still could. I'm over here thinking that maybe he shouldn't have invested if he wasn't going to go for the... If he wanted to get a Tiger, he should have saved more manpower and fuel before picking it up. That way he can change his mind if things go sideways. But as I'm saying that out loud, he does have the option of the Panzer IV at any stage there, so yeah, maybe not the worst thing. Love to see this 8 Rad scuffling with those bazookas and Commandos. Both units counter each other rather hard, so it's fun to see when two units hard counter each other. Now, Bersaglieri starting to vet up here a little bit, and as we all know, Bersaglieri scale very, very hard, but their scaling is very slow. So, starting to reach that stage in the game where this unit's going to be a force to be reckoned with. 8 Rad eating some shots from those Commandos is going to have to give him some space there. But this is how you beat Commandos, right? Combined arms, infantry, and vehicles, so they can't choose one or the other of their strong options. Love to see that. Jaeger's trying to get on the side. I should say Panzerjäger's trying to get on the side of that 75mm, but not going to find him. Heavy machine gun repositioning. No other infantry in the area to help out. And Jaegers are going to be suppressed. Oh man, barely breaking the arc there. But heavy machine gun going to reface once again. And no way these Jaegers can get anything done other than to just force that 75mm back. And awesome flank here from the Bersaglieri. He is going to get this cutoff point. So well done there. Denying his opponent all these resources. That's 15 fuel per minute on that left side. So that's going to feel pretty darn good. And man, I'm really glad. So by the way, this is me. I caught this ladder live game live on the ladder. And I'm really glad that I did. I've only seen a couple games on this map, and they've all been lackluster is probably the best word. And this game has been a banger, so I hope you guys are enjoying as much as I am. The unit preservation from both players has been astounding. I mean, we've seen only, just one heavy machine gun stolen away, and I guess some scouts as well. And as I say that, I'm caster cursing here. He's going to pick up that second heavy machine gun, and we're going to see him destroy it, though. Bulldozer added on here, no surprise there. Doesn't really need any anti-tank capabilities, just needs anti-infantry. And I say that, but our U.S. player is going to have to contend with a Tiger from the looks of things. Continuing to save up fuel and manpower is Theodosios, so I do think we're going to see that Tiger. Weasel's still alive here, already veteran C3, that's incredible. More health, vision, self-repair, always active. Wow. So this thing is going to be tough to deal with, tough to take out, I should say. Bercieri trying to secure this point, but going to eat a ton of damage here. And I just realized something truly terrible, which is I've been forcing you guys to have red on the left and blue on the right. Well, okay, I take it back. Take it back. I had it right, guys. I had it right. Strafing run unlocked for our German player here. So is going to be able to take advantage of that call-in. Has quite a bit of munitions. So we should be able to see him make use of that at least once here. Ildong also floating quite a bit of manpower, or quite a bit of munitions himself. Could probably stand to throw down some mines, although it's a tall order with only one engineer that also has to repair up here. And German player are going to ignore the problem on the top side and go down to the bottom side. I think that's a good decision. Attack where your opponent is weak. And we're going to see that happen here. There are a couple heavy machine gun, well, just the one heavy machine gun in the area. Anti-tank units are moving away. This player going to collapse here on the middle, though. Get some decent shots on those Bercieri. 75 millimeters on the way. There is 8 rad. Looks like he's hanging out way in the wings there. Yeah, we're at least, what? What is that, 2 minutes away? 3 minutes away from a Tiger here? Never remember what the unit costs. 220, that's what I thought. Bulldozer just running the show here. Looks like our U.S. player's trying to collapse onto this cutoff point here. That would be a really nice pickup for him. There are still more German units in the area, though. But this bulldozer can pretty much afford to just sit there and do nothing. Bercieri going to eat those 75 millimeter shells before retreating. Should get out of there no problem. Here come the Jaegers, though. Gonna try and shoo away this bulldozer, but look how much freaking health that thing has. Does not care about those rifles even a tiny bit, it seems. And action all over the place here. Oh my god. What the heck was that? Was that a charge from the Commandos, right? And it was blown up by the Bercieri? Man, I did not see what happened. That was definitely a demo charge, but I don't know why it exploded. So, shoot. Nice little, I mean, and losing the Commandos there is not going to feel too good. Weasel running for his life here. 8 rad chasing hard. 75 millimeters responding, as are the Commandos, and that looks like a dead 8 rad to me. Smoke popped, though. Jaeger's on the side, getting some decent shots on the 75 millimeter. So could see a trade of vehicles here, and that's a trade that's definitely going to favor our U.S. player. I'm sure that our German was sad to see that unit go, but is going to take a commando in return by the looks of it. Bulldozer getting super aggressive here. Satchel charge from the engineers, trying to pick up some units on the retreat, but not going to happen. And very, very red map here. German player needs another 20 fuel, and at this rate he's going to need at least 2 minutes to get there, assuming he can control the fuel points that he has. Bercieri, we're trying to grab this cutoff point, but heavy machine gun bulldozer combo going to shut that down pretty darn quick there. Heavy machine gun on the flanks facing off against the Weasel. And yeah. So U.S. player in a fairly dominant position at this exact moment, but as soon as we see a Tiger on the field, he is going to be riding the struggle bus, because we've seen him lose a commando. He hasn't really built that many bazooka squads. He's got 175 millimeter left, and everything I just said is not very good against Tigers because of their monster freaking armor. German player choosing to destroy the heavy machine gun here rather than steal it. As one should, right? Deny them to your opponent, and if you're not going to use it, definitely destroy it. All right, now we're back up to a reasonable fuel income. So 30 seconds to go here, and we're going to see that Tiger Weasel just doing its thing on the wings of the map, picking up all the territory. And it looks like we're going to see a triple cap come in here for a U.S. player, tick down his opponent rather quickly. But like I said, the day of reckoning is upon us. An interesting choice here from our U.S. player, throwing down a bunker and upgrading it to a heavy machine gun as a way to protect his cutoff point here. Very, very interesting. Not quite fully covering the space, though. Looks like he's favoring the arc facing the river there. Weasel gonna eat a grenade there. Should make it out no problem. And very cool to see that Weasel's still alive. But as I was saying, here's the Tiger. Looking all epic. No skin, but still cool as heck. And yeah, so what does our US player do here? Got quite a bit of fuel. Could see something like a Hellcat, except the problem is Tiger and Hellcat have very similar ranges. I think it might actually be identical. Simply because the Tiger has tremendous range. Oh my god, Weasel gonna go down. Commandos gonna eat a ton of damage there as well. Bulldozer on the side here, gonna contend with these Jaegers. Tiger gonna get pissed though. And it looks like he might run over all these hedgerows here. Really open this space up. Bulldozer just going to flee the area, and basically this Tiger's going to run the table here for a bit. Just do whatever he wants, literally no threats. It is going to be a Hellcat in response from our US player. Of all the options available to him, I do think that's the best one against the Tiger. That said, his anti-infantry capabilities are struggling fairly massively right now. Only has a few units. Gonna have to depend on those bulldozers to get anything done against the horde here. And with those Berserkers at bet 2 and probably coming up on bet 3, it's gonna keep getting worse for him. Quick look through the squads here. About halfway to bet 3 on a couple of them. So Bazooka might go down here to the Tiger on the way out. Attack ground is gonna clean him up there. 75mm taking a shot at the Tiger, but bouncing right off that front armor. Scary deal for him. And this game has slowed down a little bit here as we've gotten into the late stages. Both players have, like I said, both players have done a decent job of unit preservation up until the last few minutes here, where our US player's taken heavy losses. But, with all the action we've seen, pretty darn impressive. This player going to pick up this side here. Heavy machine guns waiting on that bottom side. Just going to keep that point on lockdown. Neither player feels like they can step into the victory point there. The German player doesn't actually know just how well he's doing here, I think. But he's very much respecting his opponent, trying to deny this point in the middle. Grenade going to catch those engineers on their way out. Not a huge deal. Tiger veteran C1 already. Strafing run coming down right through the middle, trying to get that engineer, but not quite going to get him. And Tiger's going to find all these vehicles here. Trading a little bit of damage there. Bulldozer's trying to tank for the AT weapons behind them. And looks like our German player's just going to back off. Seeing that Hellcat. Oh man, great connection by the Tiger on the Hellcat at maximum range. That's not a place you want to be if you're a Panzer Pioneer. So, yeah. What's next for US player? What's he at? What's he got here? 350? I mean, we could see another Hellcat. he's doing enough with the bulldozers. Yep, Hellcat on the way. I mean, I think the German player can take it slow here. And I know he's down to 150 victory points, but he has the tools he needs. He's got a superior army composition in general, I would say. Is it going to swing up to this top side? There's only one heavy MG for him to be dealing with, which I don't actually know where it is. But Bercier going to win that fight pretty handily against those commandos there. Have a machine gun on the right. So German has properly identified where his opponent is weak and is going to grab all this territory on the top side, namely the victory point, and start ticking his opponent down here. What is our German doing in terms of tech here? He's got repair kits, of course, vehicle smoke. I guess that's really all he needs. Because he's got so much infantry. Tiger wasting that heavy machine gun. Not going to pick him up on his way out, though. Hellcat's getting a nice firing arc here. But unfortunately for him, not really penetrating. Tiger going to connect, get a glancing blow on the 75mm there. Bulldozer getting aggressive. And that is how you want to use your bulldozers in this type of situation, right? You do not want your Hellcats taking the damage. You want your bulldozer taking the damage because it's got way more armor, way more health. But against a Tiger, the penetration is going to be so insane that it might not even matter. German player finally with control of 2 victory points here. Did lose that top side to the Commando bulldozer combo. So US player using his... basically all he has to do is avoid the Tiger. And these Jaegers have to hang out with the Tiger because he needs to be worried about a dive. So, second engineer added on here to increase repair speed, maybe throw down some mines. Still floating a decent amount of munitions, but not nearly as bad as it was a few minutes ago.
The victory point is being taken from us.
Just taking pot shots at each other across the river here. Hellcat's going to get involved as well. Jaeger moving forward to push back the bulldozer, but nobody doing any damage, it seems. So what does our German need here? Honestly, a Panzer IV could be really good, I think. Maybe a Stuka? Probably not, though. Feels like he needs mobility. He needs an anti-tank tank on the top side of the map. That's what it feels like to me. Oh, man. Panzer Pioneers getting totally shredded while they were trying to repair the tank there. Strafing run doing huge damage. Going to clean out that engineer that was just made. And Hellcats took a beating there as well. We do see our US player has called in his own ability here, and that's the anti-infantry loiter, I should say. Gonna drive back all those units. Bercier on the top side. But here comes the bulldozer again, and this is what I'm saying when I feel like he needs a Panzer IV. Just needs something to support his infantry on this topside push. Doesn't necessarily need to get aggressive with it, just needs to protect against bulldozers. That said, risky proposition, right? We're seeing our third Hellcat on the way here. And Hellcats in that type of numbers can be very scary for any tank, including this Tiger. Commando's going to be driven back. More Commandos coming in, though. And, yeah. Still, I mean, German player still managing to keep all his units alive here. Got those Vet 3 Jaegers. Okay, so that is what happened. Our German player... Wait, our US player planted a demo charge here. Got caught doing it. And the German destroyed the demo charge and killed the Commandos. That's what happened earlier in this game. For some reason, I didn't know that shooting them made them explode. And it makes sense that I didn't know that because demo charges are so freaking uncommon. Tiger shelling away at this heavy machine gun. Not gonna get him though. Bersieri pushing into enemy territory there. Gonna deny his opponent some fuel. Surprised to not see him going for the victory point. Still prioritizing fuel and munitions at this late stage in the game. I do think munitions are pretty darn good here. That loiter, excuse me, the strafing run from our German player, very, very powerful. So, don't mind that he's going for munitions here. And a flak gun on the way, very cool. That's a great choice. I mean, he can drag that top side, support his infantry with it, but not if he loses this Tiger. Holy cow, 75mm getting a ton of penetrations there. Hellcat's not on the scene, though, so Tiger's going to roll away safely. But, yeah. Yeah, Flak 36 feels like a really good choice here. I mean, it's totally going to dominate the Hellcats. It's going to do well enough against the bulldozers. And with the improvements to towing, I mean, the responsiveness of towing, much snappier this patch. I don't know if you've all had a chance to use the new towing, but I've really been enjoying it. This feels way smoother without feeling like, you know, it's not too easy, right? It's not like it reduces the amount of micro required. Just makes it accessible to all. Commandos closing the gap up here, but those Vet 2 Bersieri being pretty annoying here. Commandos, of course, going to win at that point-blank range. Grenade going down. Friendly fire going to be a big deal there. Bersieri did hit the Vet 3, though. So, ultimate form achieved here. I don't actually know what they get at Vet 3. I just know it's crazy good. Yeah, that accuracy is freaking huge. In terms of their DPS, 20 health, also huge. Way harder to bring them down. Black 36 set up in the middle here, supporting the Tiger. So, continuing to be all in on this Tiger, as he should be. Tiger goes down, he loses the game most of the time. Heavy machine gun going to get picked up by the Tiger there. Already veteran C2. So, faster rate of fire. Very scary. Commando's going to phosphorus grenade this heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun ought to make it out of there, but not going to feel too good about it. Commando's not going to fire at them on their way out. Tiger crossing the river here. On the hunt a little bit. Where are those Hellcats? Has he seen them? Like, holy cow, this is so risky for him to be here. I guess he does have the Flak 36 at his back. He's going to grab up the heavy machine gun there. Nice. Bulldozer in the wings, looking for trouble. Is he going into his opponent's base? What are you doing? Just scouting ahead here. This player is still doing a decent job controlling the victory points that he needs to be. To slow down the bleeding here. And a fourth freaking Hellcat on the way here. Yeah, the more I think about this Flak 36, the more brilliant I think that it is. Because the best way to deal with Flak 36 is indirect fire, right? Something like a howitzer. But in 1v1s, and especially as US, very hard to do. So, the longer I'm talking here, the more I'm wanting our US player to go for a whiz-bang here. Is that even an option? Like, I mean, surely. He's even got the fuel for it. And that could be pretty decent against this Flak 36 here. So, I don't know. Do like the next Hellcat, but with the pop... I mean, he's a pop cap here. So, we could see... I mean, he has a choice to make. He can either dive the Tiger with all his Hellcats, or he can continue to play this slow game on the wings of the map and just control barely enough victory points to stay ahead. But I feel like that has slowed down in the past few minutes here. Interestingly enough, our German player's moving down here. Focusing this bottom side. Gonna let his opponent just have that top side. Phosphorus grenade pop in there. Not gonna change the situation. Commandos eating a ton of damage on their way out. Should make it out okay. Doesn't have vision anymore. So, Commandos in the middle. Getting up on this heavy machine gun. Comes a anti-infantry loiter though. And heavy machine gun's gonna bail out. Tiger gonna destroy those engineers nearly. Commandos also helping out. Flak 36 getting some shots in here against the bulldozer. Bulldozer veteran C3. Good God. Here comes the Hellcat flank though. Flak 36 is not facing the right direction. Is rotating now. This was the best possible angle to attack from for our US player. One Hellcat gonna go down from the looks of it. Satchel charge gonna destroy the Flak 36. Didn't quite take him down, but still facing the wrong way. And that's a dead Flak 36. And with all these tanks alive, easily going to destroy pretty much everything here. What a fantastic attack by our US player. And, yep, German player's going to throw in the towel. Wow, I thought for sure our German was going to win that game. Really well played by Ildong at the end there. The dive on his opponent. As you can see here, both players very evenly matched. Basically identical elos. So, very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.